So hopefully you enjoyed the beef crescent rolls. And next we're gonna do something a little sweeter. We're gonna do peanut butter brownies with salted pretzels. So Marjorie's again gonna do the cooking. We're gonna look through the ingredients and the equipment that we need and go through the recipe. So enjoy. All right, so again, we're gonna go through the recipe list. Remember, that's an important part of cooking. You need to read through the recipe first. Make sure you have everything you need, all the ingredients and all the equipment that you need. So Marjorie's gonna get up here and kind of show you the different ingredients needed for this recipe as I talk a little bit about them. So first off, this is semi-homemade. So we're gonna start with a boxed brownie mix, and we're using Betty Crocker, but you can use any brand that you like. And ours requires eggs, oil, and water. So we've got the eggs, oil, and of course we've got water right over here in the sink that we'll use. So that's the first thing. Then we're going to use 3/4 cup of peanut butter, and I like Jif. And it needs to be smooth peanut butter. So you can use any brand, but we like Jif. 2/3 cup confectioner's sugar. So confectioner's sugar, also known as what, Marjorie?
Powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar. All right. Then we're going to need 5 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. So it's important that you use the unsalted butter in this recipe. You don't want any extra salt because we already have a lot of salt in the peanut butter and a lot of salt in the pretzels that are going to go on top. And we'll talk when we get to that stage about how to melt the butter. Then finally, you're going to need, the recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of chopped salted pretzels. So what we're gonna do when we get there is just, we're going to chop up some. It doesn't have to be exact because they're going on top. You could even leave them whole and decorate with those if you don't want to chop them up. Okay, so we want to make sure we have plenty of mixing bowls. So we've got 2 big mixing bowls there, one for the brownie mix and one for the peanut butter mix. We've got measuring cups, we have some prep bowls, we've got measuring spoons, and we have our oven mitts again because, once again, we want to talk about safety when we start working with the oven. So the oven, if you remember from our previous recipe, was still on, so it's on still. We just turned it down to 325. We prepared a 9x13 pan ahead of time. So we just put a little butter in the bottom, sprinkled it with some flour, shake that flour around and toss out the leftover flour, and that prepares the pan. Okay, so Marjorie's gonna start with the brownie mix, and she's going to put the mix in the bowl. Because you want to make the brownie mix according to the directions on the box.
I guess it doesn't matter.
And there's a pair of scissors. We like to open the packages with scissors because if you're trying to open it by hand, sometimes it goes everywhere. So we like to have a pair of scissors handy. Next week's class is going to be cooking with eggs, and Malia will probably talk a little bit about cracking eggs for your recipes. So all I want to share with you here is that we're going to crack the eggs into a prep bowl instead of right into the mix. That way, if we have any accidents, we won't accidentally get shell into our recipe. So it's going to go in the prepared pan. All right, and then you want to just smooth it out, and you're just preparing it for the next layer. All right, that looks good. All right, for the next layer, the peanut butter mixture, you need 5 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. So the nice thing about sticks of butter is that it's very easy to measure because, you want to hold that up, Margie, so you can see? Because the markings are right on the package. So you just go to 5 tablespoons, just cut it off there, and that's how much you need. So Margie's gonna do that. We're in 5 tablespoons. And you want to put it in a small microwave safe bowl. And we're going to melt it in the microwave. You can also melt it stovetop if you want. We find it's easier in the microwave. You want to put something over it. So we usually just throw a little paper towel over it. And I usually go about 20 seconds at a time. So after 20 seconds, you want to check it. You want to kind of swirl it around a little bit. Just take the bowl and swirl it. Just, yeah, like that. And then another 20 seconds. You don't want to do more than that at a time because it will get too hot. It won't all melt, but parts of it will get too hot and start popping, and then you'll have a big buttery mess on the inside of your microwave. Okay, she's getting the bowl ready for the next step. So the next step, you're going to get your peanut butter, and we need 3/4 cup smooth peanut butter. So you want to dip that out with something like a small rubber spatula and fill your measuring cup. All right, the butter looks nice and melted. See, that only took 2 times. And when you're working with something like peanut butter, you get it in there and kind of smush it down in the cup so there's not air down in the bottom taking up, you don't want air taking up space. You want it completely full of peanut butter. And then you're gonna make sure it's smooth across the top. So spatula to get it back out. You just put that in your mixing bowl. Your butter, and we know we have the 5 tablespoons, so we're just going to pour all the butter in there. And then we're going to measure out the confectioner's sugar. You need 2/3 cup. Again, here you want to measure over a different bowl in case you get too much and it spills over. This is a 1/3 measuring cup. You want to get it all the way to the top. We were being very careful. We would take a level and level that off, but I think it's fine. It's okay. So 1/3. Alright, we're going to mix that all together. Let's go ahead and put the dirty dishes in the sink. So mix that together until it's smooth. Okay, so then you're going to take and just dollop, which is like spoonfuls in spots all over the brownie layer. So you're not spreading it evenly over the brownie layer. Like big globs. Grab the butter knife over there. And then you're just going to pull that knife through the batter so it kind of swirls. Just swirl it, come straight through. Pull it straight through. Yeah, like that. You can come long ways and then go the width. So you want to just kind of make swirlies through your batter. This looks so much better. pretzels. So the recipe says to crush up pretzels. So you have about a half cup crushed pretzels and sprinkle over the top. But we like to just put them on whole like this because they're the small twists. So Marjorie's just going to arrange those on top. Look how pretty that looks all swirled together. And this recipe makes about 12 brownies, so she's putting about, looks like about 12 pretzels on, so each brownie will have its own little pretzel. Then we're gonna pop this in the oven. And we're gonna set the timer for about 35 minutes.